Oh, there you are, Chris Kennedy.
How's it going?
Good. Look at all these people hide their faces. It's like we're talking on the telephone and they're just eavesdropping in. Wait, just give it a sec here.
Chris, I'm not far behind you, man. Look at it's all thinning out right in here. See that?
I know, but you could save yourself and go have some hair put in there and no one would know. And like if I showed up with hair tomorrow, everybody would be like, everybody knows, you know.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you a funny story. I had this guy work for me. The fact of how I hired him is a good part of the story. But back then, do you remember a fax machine, Chris?
Yeah.
So one day I walked by the fax machine and there was a fax there and it said, Chris, if you're looking for a loan officer that can do 2 million average a month, that's not high maintenance, that knows his programs, then give me a call. I'm like, all right, I bite. So I call him up. He goes, there was a misunderstanding at Wells Fargo. I just want to tell you that I was fired. He told me the reason. It was totally kind of BS. And I said, come see me. So we become friends. I hire him. His name's Rich. I hire him. He was older than me. He was probably 15 years older than me at the time. And Rich had it to pay. And everybody knew, but Rich thought no one knew. And we were moving into a building. We were moving into this new building. I thought that to be relevant as a broker and to get everybody to pay attention that I needed to have my own building. And I built this building. By the way, that is a lie. And I don't believe that made that difference. And it took a ton of cash because I bought the building and built it. But anyways, we're moving in. This is like 04, 05. We're moving in and it's windy out and Rich has got all of his stuff from his desk and I'm right behind Rich and the wind picks up and blows his hair off to the side, right? And I didn't know what to do because I don't want him to be embarrassed. So I exit left and just turn all the way around and walk back to my truck because I didn't want him to know that I just saw the hair blow off. And and so I said to myself, if I ever go bald, I'm never gonna do that. I'm just gonna have to embrace it. So this is what God gave me. This is all I got.
Nice.
So you'll have to make that decision.
It's coming. Looks like there's a golf divot right down the middle right here.
That's so funny. All right, let me get my bearings here. Well, first of all, welcome, guys. I'm pretty excited about this. I'm really excited about Chris Kennedy. Chris and I are both from the same coaching group. I haven't got to hang out with Chris a ton, but I will tell you this. I've never seen a better team. I've never seen an amazing leader with his team. His team pours their guts out for him. He treats them with respect. He is in the weeds with them, and he's the kindest man I've met. He truly is sincere. He calls me, checks up on me. I know, listen, I'm almost done. He checks up on me. He leaves me these great voicemails, and I just feel like a turd because he's like ahead of me all the time in that, and he truly does what he says. So, Chris, I'm excited to have you today and excited to learn about your business. But as we start this thing, I think we all want to know and learn about you. And how did you get in mortgage?
So I was, it was like 2001. I was dating a girl who I was doing finance at a Volvo dealership, and I was dating a girl who just got in, and I went by her office and I saw the numbers on the outside of the broker's door for all the different people, and I was like, wow, these guys crushed it. They're already at like 100 grand. It was like June, they already made 100 grand for the year. And she said, no, that was last month. And then I went into the broker's office. I was like, if that was last month, I will quit my job and come work for you. And he's like, no, that was last month. And then so I took all my real estate stuff and decided to jump into doing loans, and I haven't looked back.
What year was that?
2001.
Okay. So same as me,
Yeah.
2000. Tell us about now, bring us forward. And what does your team look like today?
So I have 4 LPs. Actually, my very first hire, who's been with me through thick and thin, is also on this call, Elizabeth. And she is now my LP2 kind of head processor. And we would like to grow this so I'm adding on loan officers now. And we'd like to grow this and move her more into that team captain position. And she's been with me since 2004. When? Seven? When? I don't know. She's been with me 7 years. So before I got into coaching and all that kind of stuff, I was kind of a one-man show, just winging it. And then once I started learning a lot of stuff, I just started layering on more and more staff in order to handle the business that we were getting.
Yeah. Real quick on that coaching thing, I think that a lot of people are, looking at coaching, and I don't really truly do, the coaching that you're getting coached with, because it gets weird to boss a client around or do the true accountability coaching like Rick does, but
Yeah.
or freedom, or whoever the group is. But maybe just a little bit about what year did you start in coaching?
2018. 2018. Yeah.
Okay. And what's coaching in that type of level really done for you?
It's literally blown up my business. It has made me able to work a normal 40 hours a week. It's made my life pretty easy. I mean, it's not easy, this is loan business, but at the same time, it is much more directed. I'm able to constantly be prospecting, staying out of my files as much as I possibly can. I'm in there maybe meddling around about 5% of the time.
Okay.
Even though Elizabeth would like me just to stay out of the office all the time, probably.
Well, Elizabeth, the best way to fix that, you know how to fix that, correct? You take his login away.
I don't know how to use the new system, so I'm slowly learning myself out of this. So we just switched over to Arrive, and I have no idea how to use it yet. So
I gotcha. Here's the one thing that I get asked, and I'm curious to see how you answer it, is that, look, I know all that stuff already. Why would coaching make a difference? I know that. I know how to do that.
I would say accountability.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say so too. It's pretty cool and amazing what 2018 looked like to today. Would you agree?
Yeah, big time.
And that coaching probably sets you up for this period in mortgage.
In a big way, like I was. And we've always been heavily purchased, even through when this big refi boom was going. We were still probably right around 75 to 80% purchase. And we never let off that purchase gas, and then it just kind of led us right into this. Yeah, we're off a little bit, but we're not off tremendously. We're not off like I see a lot of people off. I see a lot of layoffs happening and stuff.
Yeah. You're Chris is in Sacramento. I think Sacramento is a similar styled town as Sioux Falls, but yet bigger. Average loan size.
We're right around 375.
Yep. So a little ahead of us. And population is
Sacramento City, I think, is like 9 something, but then like the county and all the surrounding is like 2 point something.
oh wow, way bigger.
Yeah, because you got three counties all together that are all really close, and then they all feed each other.
Cool. So when we dive into what this team looks like, when a client first calls in or you get a referral, what happens?
So a lot of the times, I will take the initial phone call and do just a quick, did you have a bankruptcy yesterday kind of conversation,
Yep. So
just to make sure.
Qualifying the lead.
Yeah, just a quick qualification, and then I hand them off to an LP1. The LP1 completely takes the application, sends out the needs list. I pre-did a video built into the needs list as well. That videos basically explains to them why we're getting so much information up front, because a lot of people will come to you and say that, Bank of America just wanted a conversation. So I explained to them why we're getting it. And then the needs list goes out. She also collects all the documents. She names all the documents and sets it all up for, I have a position called a PAM, which is a pre-approval manager.
Oh, I like that name.
Yeah.
Go back so we don't get too far in.
Yep.
One thing is that can we get a copy of your video that you send to your client of why you do this?
Yes, I'll send it out to you for sure.
And then I'll share it with everyone. Number 2 is that after you do your pre-qual, will you role play with me quick of how you do the handoff?
Okay.
Do the handoff
sure.
to the team.
So the handoff to the team is very simple. If everything sounds good, I'm just saying, hey, everything sounds like you can definitely buy something. It's really going to come down to how much you qualify for, what your debt to income ratios and stuff like that are. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set you up with my assistant. She's going to be giving you a call. She's going to be doing a full application with you over the phone, so you don't have to guess on how to do the application. Then she's also going to share with you a list of everything that you'll need to gather together and upload. Once we have all that, we will work on getting you fully approved, so that when you go out and make offers on properties, you know that you're going to be closing, and you're going to be closing really quick in a timely fashion.
I like that. What do you do when existing client or your buddy calls? Do you do the handoff the same way? So you've already done the loan in the past. They kind of know the process. How does that work?
100%. 100% of everybody gets the exact same thing. The only difference is, like, we get a lot of repeat business. So that repeat business, they may call me and I'll say, hey, you know the drill, this is what's happening. And then I'll have the LP1 go through their old file, see what we can salvage out of their old file, and then only ask for the documents that we actually need. And then she'll call them and redo everything with them again.
Okay. And and you could copy it in or whatever.
Exactly.
So you have information already.
Yep.
So now the LP1 has taken the application. They have collected the documents. Have they run or selected the program that best fits the consumer, or are you in the mix of that part there?
I'm not in any of that. So from there, the LP1 pulls the credit, and then she's pretty new. The last one would pull the credit and kind of make a gauge on, like, hey, we need a few more documents here, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
We're training up the new one at this point in time to make this decision.
Mm-hmm.
But from there, once she pulls the credit, has it all set up, has all the documents properly named the exact way that Elizabeth kind of like set forth for everybody, then what happens from there, it goes over to the PAM position or the LP to, pre-approval manager.
I like Pam. Don't you like Pam, Teresa?
So then what Pam will do is, her name's not Pam, it's Brianna, and she's the best. Like, she's amazing. And Brianna, I kind of laugh because she doesn't really take a lot of phone calls. She doesn't have to deal with a lot. Her whole sole job is just to make sure that that thing is bulletproof approved. If she needs to send it over for a TBD, she may bounce a couple ideas off of me. Hey, like, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? When you were talking to them, did they have a little extra money that they can maybe pay off a car? So she's looking at all those different things to try to get them as much as they possibly can. But at that time, she's issuing out and making sure that they're ready to go.
How are you converting and selling? Like, when do you come back in involved with your client then?
So once they're fully approved, then Brianna will set up a Zoom call with me. I do a full Zoom presentation with absolutely everybody. And I do a mortgage coach. So I break down a bunch of different programs for them. So whatever she has already broken down, that's what I'll do. So I'll do a mortgage coach with them. And then I also go through the steps of the loan, what to expect. I go through the do's and don'ts. I go through things to watch out for, everything from solar to flood insurance to high fire insurance to, different areas and what to expect, Melrose. We go through all that. We also ask for we ask for a referral at that point in time as well. So we're asking for a referral during that meeting. Mm-hmm. And then they get the approval letter after our meeting.
Okay. So how long is that meeting?
So some people are 15 minutes. Sometimes it takes an hour. If you have somebody, if you have an engineer, you're looking at 45 minutes,
Right.
If you have a salesperson, you're looking at 10 minutes.
And then, I coached some of our commercial loan officers today, and I realized two things. One, they don't know how to ask for a referral. And two, they don't know how to teach their client how to give them one. And how are you teaching your client how to give you a referral?
So one thing we kind of bounced off of all of us we meet every single morning at 9:30 or at 9 o'clock on the dot. Like every single morning we sit down in the conference room. If
the whole team,
okay, everybody. We do Monday to Friday, and then every once in a while we'll like kind of come up with different ways to ask for referrals. We bounced ideas off of each other. The latest was basically giving them putting the idea in their head, which is, hey, do you know anybody that's renting right now that may want to buy? So actually telling them what you want. Or do you know anybody that works with you? Or do you know anybody that's a nurse at the same hospital as you? That kind of way to ask.
I love that. Shooting a rifle versus a shotgun has way better success. Have you found some renters then? Have they been able to refer you?
Yeah, we were getting a pretty fair amount of a decent amount of CCRs. Probably the past year we were getting a decent amount. This month right now I don't have any. I'm kind of bummed. I'm looking at my numbers right here. But
yeah.
But I think last month we had 4 CCRs, which heck, it's not bad.
Yeah, so CCRs, guys, is just basically abbreviation of current customer referrals. So it's anyone that's doing business with you today and you're asking. I think the best in the business is probably Brian, wouldn't you say, Chris? And he's actually going to move, but he's in San Diego, and he's getting like 60, 70 current customer referrals a month.
It's kind of wild.
It's just insane. But it's a system. It's the only part of his business. And I really truly believe I wish my dad was still here to knock me around in the head, but he's like, I can't get it in your thick skull to take care of the people that take care of you, then continue to always look for new. And he's right. And it just keeps coming up, Chris, over and over and over, that we need to do a
Yeah.
better job of taking care of the people that already know what it's like to do business with us. So now we've got, you've had your meeting, you've met
Yep.
with the client, you've sent out the letters. What happens in your process after that?
So in the process after that is the approval letter goes out to the agent. Now in that approval letter, I have my resume is page 1.
Oh, so you give the agent your resume?
I do, yeah. I give
That's
my
cool.
resume
I've
is
never
page
heard
1.
that.
What was that, buddy?
Okay. I've never heard that.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I do my resume is page 1. The
Okay.
borrower's resume is page 2. And then page 3 is the actual approval letter. So we make them go through.
What's the borrower's resume look like?
So the borrower's resume is just, are they W-2'd? Do we have all of their returns? What do they do for a living? Are their credit scores? We give a range. We don't tell them what their credit scores are, but we just check a box like, hey, here's the range. Is the money gift funds? Is the money coming from a 401k? So we just have it's one page and it just kind of lists out everything.
Wow, that's cool. So you give your resume, the borrower's resume, and
Yep.
what was the last thing?
And then the final approval letter.
Okay.
Yeah.
What feedback do you get when you send that?
It gets great feedback. Elizabeth, what did we do 2 years ago or 3 years ago? We implemented that. And it was like, hey, is their job affected by COVID? I think it was right at the beginning of COVID. We put this together because everybody was getting laid off because of COVID and all that kind of stuff. So I think we implemented it 2.5 years ago or whatever.
Oh, I love it.
And it did very well, and we just kept it ever since because it just people are so like. Even I got one on Sunday. The guy started asking me all the questions that are on there, and I said, "Hey, did you get my approval letter?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, did you go to page 2?" And he's like reading through it, and he goes, "Oh, this is the best." I was like, "You didn't even need to call me on Sunday, So.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so
Yeah.
we've sent these 3 things out, and you've communicated with the buyer's agent, seller's agent, I'm assuming. And now what happens?
So then the package, the contract comes back to Pam. So Pam actually gets the contract and just sets it up.
Customer know to send it to the Pam position.
No, the agent does though.
The agent.
So the agents all know to send it to Brianna. If they do send it to me on accident, everybody in the office all has access to my email, and they also they look in my email all day long.
That's a discussion right there. I think that many loan officers struggle with is letting go of their email. I've taught that, it is a hard subject, but it does make you more efficient. What was your struggles in letting go or letting people in your email to make sure you can take better care of the customer?
That they won't do it as good as me, but Elizabeth does everything as good as me, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, really, she's better than you. She's better than you. Like what would be things that Elizabeth would handle within your email so that you could give your clients a better experience?
Well, regardless, you're always 100% going to get emails where they don't tell anybody, and they just send it to you. And you could be on vacation, and no matter what, they're going to send it to you and not tell any of the team, not CC anybody. So that is the biggest thing right there for each one of them to be able to get in there whenever they need to just be able to grab stuff and answer it before I even get to it.
So that I think the biggest hot button in that email is that you have some private things that are coming to you that that you really want to have for your eyes. How do you handle that issue?
That's what my Gmail's for.
Okay, separate email address.
Yeah, I mean that's just my personal stuff,
Yeah, got
Yeah.
it. Cool. So
Everything
now,
else is just business.
yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. So you've taken care of it. You've gotten the contract, and the team's going to and the PAM positions basically got it all organized, making sure it's correct. Then what happens?
So she orders. Well, Elizabeth, you want to answer that? So what is Brianna? She orders the. Can't hear you. Okay, so I think Brianna orders the all the title information and sets it up. She will, because she isn't licensed, she will send me over a quick, hey, what do you want to lock this at? And then she'll send me a screenshot of the locks, and I'll pick the lock, and she locks it, whatever I pick. And then we use Microsoft Teams, which is great.
Yep.
She just does a screenshot right in Microsoft Teams. I take a look at it, I lock it, and I just let her know where to lock. And then I really never see it again. So she hands it over to Elizabeth, and then it's off to the races from there.
So Elizabeth's job is to get it to the finish line.
Yes.
And just a quick side note, gravel road. He's in the core. There you go. So you could look up the core, or if you want connected in there, I can help you get connected into their programs. So Elizabeth brings it home. Does Elizabeth do updates to the borrower on a certain day? And how does, I wish we had Elizabeth right now. How does Elizabeth communicating in with that client, through this process?
So one thing that we all 100% agree on is massive communication. And if you look at we have so many, look, every one of our reviews is 5-star. And if you read each one has a paragraph written about us, and each one says massive communication. We knew where everything was going every step of the way. So we do Tuesday and Friday updates.
Tuesday and Friday?
Tuesday and Friday, every single Tuesday, every single Friday.
To the borrower, to every Tuesday and Friday, or to different people?
To everybody.
No kidding. All
to
by
everybody.
phone call, or what way of communication?
So you get two on Tuesday. So I will call on Tuesday, but I'm only calling the listing agent at that point. Most of I talk to all my agents all the time. So like every single Monday, I'm calling every single agent that I even have met before, right? So I'm calling like 40 agents every Monday.
Okay.
And then every Tuesday, I've already talked to most of the agents. You know what I mean? I'm not, and yeah. Half of them are like, hey, do you want to come over for dinner, or whatever it may be. So, yeah. So I'm not really updating the buyer's agent, but Elizabeth is updating the buyer's agent with an email that we have, that she kind of came up with, that has like very bullet point and direct, like, here's where we are, here's where the appraisal is, here's where this is, here's where this is, here's what this is. It's the same every single Tuesday. It looks the exact same. We haven't changed it in years. Very, very easy to read. So that goes out to the borrower and to the, actually it goes out to the borrower, the listing agent, and the buyer's agent. And then I call the listing agent and just say, hey, what's going on? Just want to make sure you're happy with our service, blah, 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 blah. Because I'm trying to build that relationship to try to build the relationship down the road.
But the borrower is getting some type of communication every Tuesday and Friday.
Every Tuesday and every single Friday. Yes.
That's the best I've ever heard. I mean, I struggle to get people to do it just on Tuesdays, let alone 2 times a week. No, I mean, it's just obvious. If you're going to increase your communication like that, you are going to get better reviews.
Yeah.
I mean, what does the borrower what's that question about that Tuesday? How does the Tuesday communication differ from the Friday?
So the Friday, Elizabeth kind of came up with the Friday send off, and it's kind of, hey, just want to give you a quick update for, before we go into the weekend, I want to give you just a quick update of what has happened since your last update on Tuesday. And it's just, you're in underwriting, or the appraisal scheduled for Monday. Just a quick little blip on anything that has changed. It's seriously, what is it? One line. It's just one quick line.
I love it. If she put it into chat just a second ago, and Tuesday was the template, Friday's the heads up. And I think that that's the coolest way to explain it. And the client knows, right? And you're really truly connecting at another level. And that's got to just be amazing for referrals, Chris.
Yeah, it makes everybody super happy. And my phone never rings, which is amazing.
So it makes you happy too.
Yeah, exactly.
So now it's ready to come to closing, and we're getting to the CD, and then closing. Every state's a little bit different. Are you doing anything that is, part of your process that's made a big difference from that CD, or bringing this thing to the end?
No, I know she does, and I wish she could talk, but I know she gets that CD out really early in the process so that there's no problems at the end.
Yep.
And then we always get the docs to title quite a bit early. And then we get we have the agent set up the signing and all that kind of stuff. And then we just kind of step back from there.
Okay, cool. So, once you've closed the loan, do you do anything extra for the client after the loan is closed?
So always, we have we're actually kind of changing this point in the process. We're changing it to be more customizable. So we always get an all about you form. So when the LP1, let's go all the way back to the beginning. When the LP1 takes the application, as soon as she's done with the application, she says, "Hey, now it's time for the fun stuff. What is your favorite candy bar? What's your favorite drink? Do you drink alcohol? What, and kind of goes through an all about you form, gets a bunch of stuff that they like."
Okay.
What we're going to start doing at that point, we're going to do 2 gifts now. We're not going to do just one at the end. We're going to do 2 gifts that I don't even care if they're approved or not. I'm going to send them a gift from their all about you form.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
So for instance, if they say that their favorite restaurant is I don't know, McDonald's or whatever, we may put on there, a $20 gift card to McDonald's. Or if their favorite thing is Starbucks, we may do a $20 gift card to Starbucks. I think Elizabeth and I are going to keep, what did we say, under $20 is what we wanted to keep it at. Yeah.
And you're doing that at time of application.
Time of application. Yep.
Right.
Whether that they're before their credit is even pulled. I want to ratchet it up and maybe get some, even if they're not able to buy, they're still going to talk about us. You know what I mean? That might be the cheapest $20 I ever spend.
Right. That's how you get referrals.
Yeah.
For sure. Be blown away. Right.
So we're going to do that.
Something at the end.
And then at the end, we used to do like $100 Eva bot. It was just kind of a standard thing. It's like a customized gift to them. We're just going to ratchet that down to 50, and it's just kind of a congratulations at the end. And we're going to do the 2 gifts.
So just so that you guys know, if you've ever seen Eva bot, look, it's cool, because EvaBot's you're going to give EvaBot the dollar amount that you want to spend, and EvaBot helps pick the perfect gift for the client, and they kind of pick it. So I would say the best thing to do is to try it either on yourself and let you go through it, because it's going to ask you questions. And then at the end, it's going to select some ideas of a gift of which you get to pick. So it's not like you're buying something that no one would ever use or like, because they actually are part of the picking process, which kind of makes it an experience. Wouldn't you agree, Chris?
Yeah. Like, for instance, like if you say you like wine, like I tried it out on myself. I said I like wine. They gave me this cool thing that goes in the top of the wine bottle, and then you hit a button and it just fills your glass. It's like a little kegerator for your
Yeah.
wine. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was blown away. I actually was golfing. I got this deal. It was this weird text. It was this gift, and it was EvaBot. And I couldn't golf until I went through the questions because I was so curious. My brain could do anything else but figure out what I was going to get. And I'm like, man, this is cool. So EvaBot, you guys can look it up. We'll include a link in. We can get you the link with Teresa so you guys can follow that. So how do you do your follow-up then, with these closed customers from here on out? I think that would be cool to be able to hear that your follow-up
So
at the
once Elizabeth closes, okay, so she calls them and congratulates them on the funding.
Okay.
Then once it records, she sends me a Teams and says, here's their name, here's their number, they're recorded. Then I call them and give them the congratulations, you're now a homeowner. So she lets them know that it's funded. I let them know that they're homeowners.
I
So,
like the double handoff in that
yep.
experience.
And we do the
Then
double tap also. So she asked for a referral at that point in time, and then I asked for a referral also. So they get asked twice that day for a referral, by the way. Yeah.
and so Elizabeth says, "Don't keep us a secret,"
Yep.
and you come in and say, "Do you know anyone?"
Exactly.
Okay, awesome. Pretty cool experience. And Chris, I got to tell you, I learned a couple things, and that's kind of my favorite thing about this is that I learned as much as anyone. But your resume and borrow resume is awesome. I'd love to see if I could steal your template from that. And
Yeah.
then how you do your double and your two gifts are just really simple but easy to follow, and it's not going to break the bank.
Yeah.
What questions would anybody have for Elizabeth, who could type, or Chris, who can talk, that you heard from today? Does anybody got any questions for him? Oh, do you do a lot of business in different states?
No, I wish, but I'm only a broker here in California. That's it.
Yeah. So Chris is really in that conversions space right now of, wanting to recruit, converting over to non-delegated, and, kind of in the middle of that whole process. That's a process. And if you rush it, you can make errors. And so he is working hard at that conversion. Okay. Couple great questions. Michael or Mark said, can you get a description of your team captain? I can give you a couple team captain job descriptions from our team. And then Chris, do you have a team captain job description built yet?
So Elizabeth and I have been working on, my job, what I really want to do is I want to grow the LOs. And then and when we're growing LOs, I'm putting them through all of the same type of things that I'm doing.
Yep.
So at the same time, we'll need to grow the LPs to match the LO growth, right?
Yep.
And then I want her to be able to handle the LP side, and then I would handle the LO side, right? So I'll be doing the majority of the training and stuff with the LOs. She already does, like every single Wednesday, she has a training for all the LPs. She does absolutely, right after our morning meeting, every single Wednesday, they do 1 hour of training. The training is on, she goes through, what do we do? Magic, MGIC has great trainings. And then they kind of talk about those trainings they spend, 1 hour every single week just working on that kind of stuff.
That's really cool. I think that, look, if you didn't pick it up, you should. When you're trying to hire LOs, you show them your process, you show them that it works for you and that they needed to follow it. It's the number one trick in recruiting LOs today is that a lot of LOs don't have a process like this. And so you bring them in, and my favorite part to do is to bring them in for a half a day and let them job share with you. When you do that, you get to hang out with them long enough to realize, could this be a fit for the team? And you're giving the team saying, I like this person, or I don't think that could be a good fit. So they get a little bit of a say as well. Maybe not as much say, but they get a say. And you really get to understand if this is it. And you're going to blow their socks away when you create your process inside your team, because most don't have it. And you're seeing a lot of recruiting going on right away. And most of them are having coffees and they're having all of these promises and nothing is being shown. And so when you go into Chris's office, and if I'm an LO that doesn't have a process and I'm busy doing loans and not getting loans, and I see how this is going, I could work for Chris. And I think that would be a good tip to be able to do. Chris, what do you consider to be your three main job duties going here between now and to the end of the year?
It's only prospecting at this point. There's only one job duty.
Yeah.
It's one job.
But you're also have added recruiting, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, prospecting and recruiting. And matter of fact, it's kind of funny that you say that. I just brought on this new LO. She's been with us for what, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? She is, no matter what I have told her, she has taken it 100% to heart. Yesterday, she beat me on 40. She did. I was like, I reported to her. I said, look, I did 42 calls. She came back. She did 46. She's just been banging the phones, meeting people face to face. She's already got leads rolling in, and she just got her NMLS 2 months ago.
That's cool. I'm going to tell you something tied to that, what Chris just said. Look, you can teach the skills, but you can't teach drive. And that's what he hired. And I think everyone's trying to hire all these different LOs out there. If they don't got drive and the will, they ain't going to make it. You can teach the skills in the process. And in recruiting, it's the number one thing to look at. That's why I like different tests. Sure, you can use a lot of things, but Colby says a lot. If you've tried Colby, DISC is obviously Strength Finder. All those are good ones. Do you use one, or do you just go by feel?
We do DISC just to see how to talk to each other in the office. Because sometimes I'm just straightforward in your face, and I gotta know who I'm talking to. I see how she's laughing over here. And I'm always like, okay, now I know how to address this, but yeah, 100%, it's got to be drive. I brought on somebody else, and she seemed like she had the drive, and it's just kind of never came to fruition. So it's all about the drive.
Totally is. Look, 2 interviews, interviewing it with the team captain is important. If the team captain says it's a go, and you both are on the same page, normally it works. Every once in a while it doesn't, but most of the time it does. The intro video, I'll get you that, but they are saying, he's really covering the process. How does it work to integrate with his team? What is to expect? And the biggest thing in mortgage is this: they want to know what's next. And that's why I like their Tuesday, Friday deal. It's extra work for the team, but in the end, it's less work because their communication's so forward and so good, it eliminates all the additional calls, which in the end, they're saving time. Would you agree, Elizabeth? Yeah, cool.
And
you got any other nuggets in there, Chris? I mean,
I would say we try, so Friday, we just kind of, we always have the team meeting, but Fridays kind of, we call it Fun Friday. We're always reading a book. So we talk about the book that we read together. We have like a book of questions. Like we have this big book of questions that we'll pull through, and one person asks a question and everybody answers it around, and it just gets everybody close and knowing more about everybody, it's kind of fun.
You just reminded me of something. Back in the old days, on Fridays, I made a quiz, and whoever got the most right got $100, and we all had fun. You know what I mean? And I had fun making the quiz. And then at the end, I would assign someone to make the quiz for the next week, and they had fun making the quiz. And then, you just kind of quit it. And I think that would be super cool. I'm going to have to do that. What are your 4 promises? Did you talk about promises?
Elizabeth, did you share something with them that has the promises on there?
Close on time. There it is. Right
Yeah.
There. That's pretty cool. We'll make sure that we include that also in your notes. So as you're looking at things that you want to implement that you could put together, I think it's cool when you talk to a client and you go, look, this is my 4 promises. It seems like a system, and also trust is being built right away in the beginning, because most loan officers are just trying to sell. They're not trying to slow it down and go through what's the process, how does it work, and this is what my promise is to you. It starts to build trust. Wouldn't you agree, Chris?
Yeah, 100%. And that's the perfect time to let them know that that's when they can refer you. So if I keep these 4, will you make sure you tell everybody you know, love, and trust about me?
Right. And it's easier that way.
Yeah.
Awesome. I told you he's an amazing guy. Elizabeth, I think you're a little bit better because you communicated without even talking to us. How about that challenge? Chris needs to get you a microphone. Tidy, I'm going to have to send him one.
I just got her a new computer. I don't know why.
We got to teach her how to use it.
I know.
But is the big birthday coming up?
Yeah, Friday.
And do we share? Yeah, it's 50.
Yeah.
Look, you better go find a therapist now. When I turned 50 the other day, it was hard on me. So you better get a therapist now. And Elizabeth, I hope you have something big planned for him. Really getting good. I need pictures. I need some pictures.
Awesome. I'll see you guys.
All right, you guys. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Everybody have a great day. See ya.
See ya.